What is up, everyone? I'm Tyler Shelton. This is Coffee with a Beauty Reviewer. I'm your friendly neighborhood coffee snob, and today is my episode 2 of the Harry Potter review series as I'm talking about the crimes of Grindewald. So, let's just get started with today's review. So this is Fantastic Beasts and the Crimes of Grindelwald. And this is a movie that is kind of a mixed bag for me because I feel like it has some very amazing magical moments within this movie, but it also has a lot of very confusing moments, such as like the very beginning sequence. Like, I don't know what they were doing with that segment because it felt like that it was just kind of like it was just there for them to use within the trailers and like the promos. Like, it felt like that I felt like that it was like a cool scene, but I think that was all the reason why that they came up with this scene, is that they just meant it to be used for the trailers and for promotions. So it really didn't serve a purpose. It didn't showcase anything within like character development or even with like the character of Grindelwald, because Grindelwald is actually played by none other than Johnny Depp. And whatever you say about Johnny Depp, you can't dismiss the fact that he's a really great actor, and anytime when he's given a character, he goes all out, and I gotta give him respect for that. But either way, is that the beginning sequence is just like, what's the point of it? But then there was a lot of other moments in this movie that just felt like I was like, was that even necessary? And there was all the other moments where that was like, oh, that was cool. But I can definitely see why a lot of people say that this one is not really the best within the Harry Potter franchise as a whole. But I can definitely see some of the merit that they went with this movie, because I think the best way to sum this movie up, it's kind of like the necessary filler within the Fantastic Beasts franchise. So what I mean is that, like, as much as I am not a big fan of this one, but I can definitely appreciate it for being a Harry Potter fan that I am. So like, it felt like that this is a movie that was more towards Harry Potter fans, like people who read the books, watched the movies. So like, there's a lot of moments that you're all like, oh, it's that character, and then I think it was a lot of nostalgia bait, which sometimes doesn't really it doesn't blend well within movies. And I can say the same thing about this one, because they say that there is a Professor McGonagall, but she should not be born at this point, because I mean like, there could be a possibility that she might have used a time turner, which is actually used for time travel, but I'm not here to make any theories about this movie. But aside from the fact is that there's a lot of stuff that felt like it was like retconning the whole world of Harry Potter. So I can definitely see why people are a little bit disappointed in this movie. It's just because that it felt like that there were a lot of retcons in this movie. But I can still at least appreciate everything that had to do with the actual beasts themselves, and even Newt Scamander. And it can go the same thing for the character of Tina, because Newt and Tina together, their on-screen presence is truly magical, pun intended. And there are some amazing looking magical beasts in this movie, and there's a lot of magical beasts in this movie that there's really no payoff to any of those characters, especially the beasts, because like the main focus of these movies is called Fantastic Beasts. And so like, you're all like, it's called Fantastic Beasts, but not a single beast is serving a purpose within this movie. I mean, like, yeah, there is the Fantastic Beast that is Ezra Miller's character, so like, I think he's like the main point of this whole series, is that there's a lot of like, in particular moments in this movie that you're like, okay, so he still has that creature inside of him. Oh, I really think that he's actually the creature itself. But there is this big wow factor at the very end of the movie that I feel like that kind of pays off in a weird way. But it also makes you go like, wait, are you messing with our minds right now? Because like at the very end, you actually find out that Credence, well, what we are only told of who he possibly is that he is possibly Aurelius Dumbledore. I mean, that name might not mean anything to him at that point, but it means a lot to us. Because they're just presenting this big, massive reveal at the very end of the movie, and then all of a sudden, you're like, there's no way he's a Dumbledore. And then all of a sudden, the Phoenix approaches him, and you're like, okay, seriously, if a Phoenix approaches him, then you're like, whoa, is he really a Dumbledore? Because there is actually a specific scene within this movie that Dumbledore, the actual Dumbledore, Albus Dumbledore, is talking to Newt Scamander, and they are going like, well, Newt, a Phoenix will approach a Dumbledore in dire need. I somehow knew that that particular scene was going to have a big payoff at the very end, and sure enough, I was right. I also really like the actor that plays Jacob, because he definitely feels like that he is kind of like that underlying subplot within this movie, because he's a muggle, and so like a lot of you are going like, is him and Queenie gonna get together? And sure enough, at the very beginning they actually do. But the fact is that in America, specifically, like in most regions of the globe, that all these magical users, they have this rule, a decree that says, do not get involved with a muggle. And that is the Queenie's stigma, that like she wants to be with Jacob, but she feels like that the only way to be with Jacob is to side with the bad guy. Because the bad guy, he's telling her what she wants to hear. But I just really liked it how they're just pulling at the heartstrings, especially at the very end, because I think the biggest reveal in this whole movie is all about Lita Lestrange, as we find out about midway, just like right before the third act, that she actually does come from a prestigious family. And the fact is that she has a younger brother, and sadly, she is way too young, way too brash, and not really the best person in the world. That at one point when she's on the boat, she swaps her brother with another baby that is not crying. And that's actually Credence. The baby that is not crying is Credence. So this big reveal is saying, I accidentally killed my brother. And you're like, what? But either way, is that like, it does have a lot of like good payoffs within this movie. It feels like that these payoffs are like the stepping stones that is going to lead to the third one that we actually got the trailer for not long ago, which is The Secrets of Dumbledore. And I'm actually looking forward to The Secrets of Dumbledore a little bit more than I have with these past two ones. Especially that like, this is just a filler movie. I feel like that this movie was necessary, but even though that it was necessary, it's not the best. I think it had a very interesting ending, because you actually see Grindewald, he's actually a seer, which means that he can actually see in the future. And you're actually seeing the result of World War II, and he's like, these muggles, they're gonna do this. And then all of a sudden he's like, this is why we have to rise up. So you can actually understand of what he's trying to do is that he's trying to stir the pot. He's trying to get people all riled up to make them go like, oh geez, is this what the muggles are going to do? We need to up our game and make sure that we can protect ourselves. But either way, is that like, I think the climactic battle had a good payoff, but the movie to get all together is very confusing, very mixed. So yeah, I would have to say that I would give this movie, yeah, probably like a 6. Only because that I think that this is a good movie as a Harry Potter related film. So like I can actually enjoy it a little bit more than people that are probably not fans of the series. So like if you're just like that average Joe that wants to watch a movie, you're probably not gonna like this movie. But me being a Harry Potter fan, I kind of enjoyed it for what it was. Yeah, it does have some bad moments and it's very confusing, but you know what? Me being a Harry Potter fan, I understood a lot of stuff that was happening. So that is why I gave this a little bit of a higher ranking. It's only because that I think this movie was meant for people like me. It's a fun time if you're a Harry Potter fan. And also I just want to mention is that this is a character-driven movie, so like you got Newt Scamander, Albus Dumbledore, Credence aka Aurelius Dumbledore, Tina, Lita Lestrange. There's a lot of characters in this movie, but you can definitely understand a lot of the characters and where they're coming from. So this is another character-driven movie. It doesn't have the strongest story, and it's not really Fantastic Beast focused. I mean, yeah, there are Fantastic Beasts in there because I'm pretty sure that they have to like. It's called Fantastic Beasts, so we need to show magical creatures. But yeah, there's a lot of problems with this movie. But either way, it's above average movie, and that's my review for the movie. So thank you so much for watching this video, and I just want to tell you is that I actually will come out with a list of worst to best Harry Potter franchise movies. So just keep an eye out for that, but I might do that after I review the entire series. So there's this one, and then there's going to be the third one that's coming out this year, which I'm excited to see. And there's also going to be Harry Potter 1, 2, no, 7, but there's actually 8 movies because the last one is actually a 2-parter. But yeah, I'm very excited to talk about these Harry Potter films, and I just want to say thank you so much for watching. If you have not yet done so, please subscribe to my channel and also like my video. And if there's other movies you want me to review, just leave it down in the comment section down below. And if you have not yet seen Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them movie review, you can check it out in the card right up here. And so yeah, thank you so much for watching. Me being autistic, it's not a disability. It's a privilege. And also, keep on drinking coffee, and I'll see you guys next time.